Hello everyone, the Deceptiwolf here, and today we're going to do something special. For the 100th Guerrilla review, we're going to take a look at something that, for me anyway, is rather special. The figure that actually got me started on collecting for myself. So today, on Guerrilla Reviews, original RID, Megatron. Stay tuned, won't you? Let's go back in time. Back in the year 2000. The RID line had just come out. I had a little extra money to spend. This is at Walmart, by the way, because it was closest to my house. And I was looking around. Now, obviously, there are things like the Ruination set, the Optimus Prime that was a fire truck. There was also the Ultra Magnus a little later on. And you had the whole Car Brothers thing. So basically, you had a lot of stuff going there. And I was looking to get the most bang for my buck. Then I saw this Nightmare King sort of thing that had 6 modes to it, under the name of Megatron. How could you resist something like that? I certainly couldn't. Now, as many of you know, there is a white repaint / retool that's called Galvatron, and it had 4 extra modes, giving him a total of 10. I don't have that version, plus I always kind of thought that those extra 4 modes were just kind of phoned in. So I imagine you could find instructions somewhere to get, if you do manage to get a hold of this toy, which I do highly recommend. I imagine you could probably equate those 4 modes easily enough. But since we just have a regular Megatron here, well, as regular as you can get for Megatron, we're just going to stick to what's official. I don't think you'll mind. You're not missing much anyway. Also, since this is a 6 changer, I will be foregoing the transformation sequences, otherwise I'd have to do this in installments, and well, I don't think anybody would really want us to be here for that long. Well, since we're here already, let's get started with the robot mode. And my, what a regal looking bot mode it is, isn't it, folks? Considering that they had him in robot mode in the box, it's easy to see why I fell in love with him, as what is anybody else who has this figure. Obviously, over the years, he's been a little covered in dust and a little bit of chrome and paint wear here and there, but still, he holds up surprisingly well, which is more than I can say for some figures. As for accessories, he has these things right here. These are his swords and also double as missile launchers. Kind of more like push missile launchers, but you get the idea. Now, you got a couple options here for the weapons. You can either have him holding double swords like so, or if you so choose, you could have him doing this. Darth Maul who? Ah, there we go. There's a better picture of it. These weapons also figure into some of his other modes too. They're integrated rather nicely. So, but moving on from that, getting on to articulation. The head does rotate. Obviously it's a little odd because these little head fins get in the way, but you can still do it. Shoulders on a universal joint, a ratcheting universal joint. Bicep swivel, ratcheting elbow joint. Wrist rotation. No waist swivel, but everything's kind of locked in anyway. Plus, since he does have 6 modes, you kind of have to give and take somewhere. Let's see now. Ratchet is universal joint for the hips. Thigh swivel. Transformation. Very nice knee bend there. And foot is on a ball joint. So, yes, he does have ankle tilts. Yay. Next up we have Gargoyle mode, which I tend not to like for various reasons. First of all, there's the that's not really a mode type of thing. If it weren't for this part right here, this little snout, should be easily ignorable. Another problem with the snout is that you have to fold it away under here, and it is an absolute pain to get a hold of again. Also, this is it. It doesn't really do anything. Now on vehicles you can kind of say it's a base, or oh, it's just a state, because they have wheels you can kind of fudge it. This is just a little nothing really. Next up we have the 2-headed dragon mode. Now some people will probably also say that this isn't, that this looks quite silly because it's him just upside down, but yeah, at least they put more effort into this than they did the gargoyle mode. Plus, you also have a couple options because you can either set the wings here or up here on this peg. Plus, he also has little arms that he can move around. Always nice. The legs and tail kind of have to be stationary in order to keep him stable, but you can move the head around as much as you'd like, which is kind of why the feet are on ball joints. Very nice. And you can also put the sabers right back there for some added guns. If that excites you. Come on. Next we have the mode that, well, I was most impressed with anyway. Since we can't make it a gun, we'll make it something unique. The claw mode. Yes, this transformer transforms into something basically the same size, actually a bit larger, than a human hand. It even has a clutching action. You just pull on this tab right here, and it can grab a hold of things like other transformers. It's incredibly silly, I know, but it's something different, and you have to at least appreciate that. Next up we have the Dragster Mode, which I will admit is a very odd one indeed. It looks a bit like if the Munsters designed European supercars, but to its credit, it does have 4 wheels, and it does look nice, and the missiles / swords do look nice up here, regardless of how silly it looks. Now last but not least we have Jet Mode. And my oh my, what a jet mode it is. I imagine if Dracula owned a private jet, this is kind of what it would look like. Still, looks nice though. And you definitely know somebody was coming, and you'd pay attention if they had a jet that looked like this. Well, I will admit, this isn't exactly what some people call perfect, but perfection doesn't exist, kids. Get over it. So if you definitely have the opportunity and the means, I would definitely recommend picking up this figure. There's plenty to entertain you, at the very least be amused by. And considering it's a vintage toy, it's definitely worth your time, especially if you can go in with all the accessories, because I should have mentioned that these little dragon arms can fall off, and this little cover for the foot and dragon head, those can also be lost. But if you can find one complete for a decent price, I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, this glorious thing has been original Robots in Disguise Megatron. I am the Deceptiwolf, and I will remind you once more, free your mind, free your toys, and see you for another 100 reviews.